2019 November 26. Daily Bread. Passage. Esther chapter 7 verse 1 to 10. Keyverse. Verse 3. Title: Esther's plea to save her people. Bible passage. So the king and Haman went to Queen Esther's banquet. And as they were drinking wine on the second day, the king again asked, Queen Esther, what is your petition? It will be given you. What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be granted. Then Queen Esther answered, If I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life, this is my petition. And spare my people, this is my request. For I and my people have been sold to be destroyed, killed and annihilated. If we had merely been sold as male and female slaves, I would have kept quiet, because no such distress would justify disturbing the king. King Xerxes asked Queen Esther, Who is he? Where is he, the man who has dared to do such a thing? Esther said, An adversary and enemy. This vile Haman. Then Haman was terrified before the king and queen. The king got up in a rage, left his wine and went out into the palace garden. But Haman, realizing that the king had already decided his fate, stayed behind to beg Queen Esther for his life. Just as the king returned from the palace garden to the banquet hall, Haman was falling on the couch where Esther was reclining. The king exclaimed, Will he even molest the queen while she is with me in the house? As soon as the word left the king's mouth, they covered Haman's face. Then Harbona, one of the eunuchs attending the king, said, A pole reaching to a height of 50 cubits stands by Haman's house. He had it set up for Mordecai, who spoke up to help the king. The king said, Impale him on it. So they impaled Haman on the pole he had set up for Mordecai. Then the king's fury subsided. Daily Bread message. 1. Spare my people. The king and Haman arrived at the second banquet Queen Esther had prepared for them. Again, the king asked her what her request was. This time, she told him. She pleaded with the king to grant her life and to spare her people. She didn't hide the truth. She laid it all out before the king, the plot against all the Jewish people in the whole kingdom. And she pointed to Haman as the instigator of this vile scheme against God's people. Because of her faith and the prayers of her people, she was not afraid to confront the enemy of God's people in front of the king. 2. Haman is hanged. Haman knew the jig was up. He was caught red-handed. He was terrified. The king was so angry he left the room. Haman begged the queen for his life, and when the king returned, he thought Haman was molesting the queen. The king ordered Haman to be hanged. One of the king's eunuchs told the king about a 75-foot gallows standing outside Haman's house, the one made to hang Mordecai. There, the king ordered Haman hanged. When we are faithful, God is with us. Prayer. Lord, thank you for your hand of protection on your people. Help us to be bold knowing your hand is with us. One word. Have faith and courage to stand up to evil.